This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, how there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutastrophe and welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe on this day. And on this day, 15 years ago in 2006, January 22nd, Kobe Bryant put up one of his most famous games, 81 points, becoming the second highest point total in an NBA game. I was going to just talk about the 81-point game and make some adjustments, but because Kobe is dead, it will be a year on Tuesday the 26th that he died. Basically, for birthday boy and all that, I tend to make someone who's living, unless it's really impossible. So basically put, I decided to give Mike, so basically because Kobe is dead, that I'm going to go through his career in this video now. All that. So, Kobe was a shooting guard. He spent every season with the LA Lakers. He had a 20-year career and spent it with one team. That is a rarity in this day and age of the free agency market. He helped the Lakers win 5 NBA titles, 18-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA member, 12-time member of the All-Defensive Team, 2008 MVP, and a 2-time Finals MVP. Surprised he didn't get more MVPs than just the 2008 one. Kobe led the NBA scoring twice and is fourth on the regular season and postseason scoring list, which meant that jerk LeBron James is number 3. He was born in Philadelphia, but was raised in Italy because his dad, Joe Bryant, was an Italian star over there. So he declared for the 96 NBA draft after graduation from high school. And of course, at that time in the 90s and early 2000s, you can draft a guy from high school. There were some hits, such as Kobe, and some major misses. Oh, and Kevin Garnett, and some major misses like Kwame Brown, and there were some other high schoolers. I would say Milicic, but he never came out of high school. So anyway, the Hornets selected with the 13th overall pick. However, the Hornets traded him to the Lakers. Now, that was kind of set in stone that the Hornets would draft him because the Lakers didn't have one of the first 12 picks. So the Hornets would draft Bryant and trade him to LA for Vlade Divac. Interesting enough, that wasn't the only 96 NBA draft trade. Ray Allen and Stephen Marbury were drafted by different teams, the T-Wolves and the Bucks, respectively. And then they switched teams. People forgot about that. But anyway, he won the slam dunk contest in his rookie campaign and was an all-star by his second season. Despite feuding with Shaq, Burr led Lakers to a three-peat from 2000 to 2002. He was charged with sexual assault in Colorado, but it was dropped after the accuser refused to testify, and the lawsuit was settled out of court. Bryant did apologize and admitted to his mistakes. And all that. Thankfully, his wife forgave him. Bryant became the cornerstone of the Lakers once Shaq was traded away after the 2004 finals. And it rejuvenated him. He won back-to-back scoring titles. In 2006, he scored the 81 points game that I will talk about. He led the Lakers to a repeat in 09 and 10. It's weird how when Kobe played, when the Lakers won a title, they at least repeated. Because they went three-peat and then a repeat. Unfortunately, he had a torn Achilles tendon in 2013 when he was 34 and suffered a lot of season-ending injuries. He decided to retire after the 2016 season. He's the all-time scorer in Lakers franchise history. I know Mr. Doubter is not here. He's on vacation, allegedly. But he would say, wait a minute, what about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? But no, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played some years with Milwaukee before he was a Laker. He was the first guard in NBA history to play 20 seasons. Wow, I didn't know that. Second most All-Star game appearances, 18. That's amazing. He's won 4 All-Star game MVPs. That ties him with Bob Pettit. He was Black Mamba in the mid-2000s. He played for the 2008-2012 Summer Olympics team, and he actually won the Academy Award for an animated short called Dear Basketball. And of course, we all know Brian and his 13-year-old daughter Gianna died in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California. So basically, yeah, Kobe was a decent player and all that. So how he got to the NBA was that the Lakers were looking to trade their center Flatty Divac for players' draft rights to free up salary cap space so that they can get Shaq. Bill Branch, the Hornets head scout, said that the Hornets wanted to trade their number 13 pick to the Lakers the day before the draft. And then, the Lakers could get Bryant or someone. However, the Hornets decided to draft him. And everyone thought that the trade was going to be put in jeopardy because Divac didn't want to be traded from LA. But June 30th, Divac relented and went to Charlotte. Since Brian was 17, his parents had to co-sign his Lakers contract. So he signed a 3-year rookie contract for $3.5 million. So yeah, so basically Brian actually came off the bench as a rookie behind Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel. So yeah, he was okay, but he participated in the rookie challenge and the slam dunk contest, which was amazing. Kobe wasn't on the all-rookie first team, which was shocking, but he didn't play as much. I don't think he really helped out as much. So anyway, Kobe and Shaq were perfect 1-2 punch, but then there was a lot of dissent and all that. So yeah. Brian had to miss games because of court appearances and all that. When he had that sex trial. But thankfully the Lakers got to the NBA Finals. But despite O'Neal, Malone, Payne, and Bryant being cornerstones, the Lakers couldn't believe them. They lost to the Pistons in 5 games. Phil Jackson was out as coach, so Rudy Tomjanovich took over. Shaq was traded to Miami for Lamar Odom, Caron Butler, and Brian Grant. And Brian almost had an offer from the Clippers, but he decided to resign. He re-signed a contract with the Lakers for 7 years. So basically, there was a lot of problems and all that. Tomjanovich actually resigned in the middle of the season, and Lakers just sucked. They were terrible. All that. However, Kobe's game was huge. So on January 22nd, 2006, he had an 81-point game in a 122-104 win over the Raptors. Obviously, you know how pissed I would be as a Raptors fan. He broke the Lakers' record of most points in a game, which was 71 by Elgin Baylor. Kobe's is only surpassed by 1 point total. And that was Chamberlain's 100-point game in 1962. Kind of controversial, though, in a sense, because a lot of people said that, Chamberlain had better efforts. And besides, his opponents were not really that big or tall and all that. Whereas Chamberlain was fed repeatedly by teammates for inside shots in a blowout win. Kobe created his own shot, mostly from the outside. The Lakers were actually trailing by 14 at the half. I didn't know that. And then in the fourth quarter, they finally pulled away. Chamberlain, playing in an era where the games were paced faster and scoring opportunities were more plentiful, accounted for 59% of his team's points in their 22-point win, whereas Kobe had 66% of the Lakers' points. So it was amazing that Kobe would do all that. What ticked me off was that Kobe decided to get rid of his number 8 jersey and switch to 24 for the 06-07 season. I know his first high school number was 24 and all that. Brian actually said that he wanted 24 as a rookie, but it was unavailable. So he decided to wear number 8. Well, he couldn't wear 33, even though that was the second high school number because of Kareem. But yeah, Kobe did well enough against the Suns in the season. Kobe did much better. Yeah. wanted a title. He had injury problems, and his final season was just huge. However, the the big game was the season finale. The Lakers were not going to the playoffs. So basically, Kobe's last game was against the Utah Jazz in front of an ESPN crowd. The only problem was there was also another game on that April 13th, 2016 day that captured the nation's hearts. And that was Golden State. Could they win number 73 to break the record for most wins in one season? Spoiler alert, they did. But yeah, Kobe. I actually watched that Kobe one when he basically went off on a hitch in the fourth quarter. Like, he outscored the entire Jazz team by himself, 23-21. He scored 60 points, which was amazing. That was the season high in the NBA. He became the oldest player to score 60 or more points in a game at 37 years and 234 days old. Lakers were 17-65. I'm like, how the hell did Kobe play for a team that couldn't even win 20 games one year? Kobe couldn't play nationally and all that. He didn't play for the 2000 Olympic team because he was getting married in the offseason. 2004, he had to withdraw because of a sexual assault case. And then in 2008, he decided to play in the Olympics and did very well for himself. He won the 2012 one too. Kobe played for that. Let me think. He played for another. They said that he had national team career 26-0, of course, 3 tournaments, but I think that was the America's Championship. So yeah, you win a gold medal every time. He has a lot of legacy and all that. It's just amazing what he did and all that. Yeah, Kobe was a legend. He'll always be a legend. I didn't have any qualms against him. I mean, I know I'm a Raptor fan and all that, but I didn't have any qualms about him. The only qualm I have is him changing his number from 8 to 24. Why would he do that? I mean, he was great as number 8. I still think he's number 8. I would never change his number on anything. But of course, Kobe is the cover athlete for NBA 2K10, which I stupidly got rid of a few years ago. And then I'm like, shit, I better get a copy. Don't worry, my copy only cost $15, so thank goodness for that. So anyway, Kobe is an icon, and he'll always be one. And the LA Lakers won the championship. I think Kobe basically guided him through from heaven, and I kind of had a hunch that the Lakers were going to win the title because of Kobe's death. Anyway, fight me on that. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do